There's a skill that I feel like is underrated for just interpersonal connections. Sounds a little bit weird to say, but just, I guess, friendships, building friendships. And that skill is the skill of following up. Basically, I've been going to a lot of creative events where you get to meet other creative people, like filmmaking events, a general one where they had an open mic, so I met some musicians and singers as well as artists. And I had some great conversations and I had a great time. And it's only been like a few days afterwards, so I still need, some people, their response rate is not great. But I noticed that like some people aren't very responsive in general and or don't respond or don't really have that oh, you have that conversation, you talk, you're like, yeah, maybe we can work on something together, maybe we can like collaborate or whatever. But people don't actually follow up with that usually. And it's a skill that I noticed that I have personally built up over time, like just naturally, by like trying to always keep my word. That's sort of like the philosophy I try to live by. So whenever I say like, oh yeah, we should do something, or like when someone recommends me a book or something like that, and I say, yeah, I'll check that out, because it sounds interesting, you pitched it well. And I end up checking it out, and I read it and I talk to them about it. And my friend was very surprised that I actually ended up reading it and was like, yeah, you have really, really good follow-up skills. So that's something some of my friends know me by. So for me personally, I feel like that probably is the skill that has helped me with creating better and stronger friendships, is always following up with what we talked about. Um, Journaling also really, really helps with that, because I've done it for 10 years now, over 10 years. And whenever I write about the day, I remember conversations and I'm like, oh yeah, I mentioned that I would do this, or I mentioned that I would check this out or whatever. So I always do. And it always leads to like the person feeling like a stronger connection with me, because I actually took their words um, like and gave it weight. Their recommendations, everything like that. Like they feel like I cared and actually listened. So it's a skill that for sure I feel like is underrated. I just think like I think a lot of more people, if they did it, they would realize like it's incredible. It really helps with building stronger relationships and friendships in general. So these days, or this morning as well as last night, I've just been trying my best to follow up with like everyone I've met and every person that I have like exchanged contacts with, if we talked about like doing something together. But we're gonna see where that goes. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly, like working with other people and everything like that. Um, Maybe having an extra person right here talking to the camera with me about some topic or something more often, because I did have my friend recently on it. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's keep following up, and hopefully this video helps some of you guys out there to work on that skill, to keep it in mind. Because I mean, sometimes it's an honest thing. You're like, you really do want to follow up, you want to work with them, but you just don't really have either the time, or like you have a busy schedule. Like you mean it in the moment, but you're doing your thing and you eventually end up forgetting. Like sometimes it's just an honest mistake like that, and that's fine. But I think you got to really, really work on it, really, really try and make it something you do. So maybe it's less of a skill and more of like a commitment type of thing, a reminder type of thing. Maybe like write it in your calendar or reminders or something. Okay, that's the tip, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.